Hey people, it's me, Anja. My pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to my channel for a new video. I know historically I've said that I don't always enjoy paranormal stories. However, with that, I have found a few that I've really liked, so here we are. The first book on this list is called Ghostwood Song. This story is a YA urban fantasy following a young sapphic main character who has the ability to draw ghosts from the grave with her father's fiddle, and she uses this ability to clear her brother's name. I hope that made sense. This story is absolutely so excellent and it's so well done. First of all, the paranormal world building was so atmospheric and so intriguing. The plot was so engaging. The mystery was so captivating. The sapphic romance was so cute, and I absolutely love them so much. This book is so good and it's so underrated. The characters were so well developed and so distinct. I was swept up in the story from the beginning to the end. Everything about the story felt so well paced and so well developed. This book is absolutely so underrated and it deserves so much more hype. So anyway, with all that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Archimancy. At least, I think that's how you pronounce it. But anyway, this story is a middle-grade urban fantasy following a new girl at a new school that's also haunted, and she can see the ghosts, and she must investigate with her friends why the ghosts are there. This story is absolutely so excellent and so good. I love this trilogy so much because first of all, the world building made so much sense and it's so atmospheric. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. I love the friendship trio literally so much. The plot was so intriguing and so engaging. The mystery was so captivating and so thrilling. Everything about this book felt so well developed and so well paced. This author is so talented, and this book is absolutely so incredible and so good. Like, I was so wrapped up in it from the beginning to the end, which is the mark of a good book, because sometimes when I'm reading a book, my interest wanes around the middle, if that makes any sense. But this book just kept me hooked throughout the entire thing. So anyway, without any further ado, this book is so excellent and it's so good. So with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Ophie's Ghosts. I know I talked about this book pretty recently, so I apologize if my review is redundant. But for those who don't know, this book is a middle-grade historical fantasy set in 1922, following a young black main character who can see ghosts. And this ability really helps her at her new job, because her new job is at this manor that's haunted by the ghosts of the former relatives of the owners, if that makes any sense. This book is absolutely so good and it's so iconic. First of all, the world building was so atmospheric and it hooked me from the beginning to the end. Part of the reason why I don't usually enjoy historically paranormal books is because I don't believe in ghosts myself. So reading about something that's fantastical to me in a historical or a contemporary setting means that I have to really believe in it, which means that the authors really have to create it so well that I feel myself being immersed in it. But usually that doesn't happen. But in this book it did. I don't know if that made any sense. But anyway, the characters were so well developed and so distinct. The family dynamics made so much sense. The mystery was so captivating. The world building was so cool and so unique. This book is absolutely so fantastic and it's so good. So anyway, with all that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called The Second Death of Edie and Violet Bond. I actually don't remember if it's pronounced Edie or Eddie, but anyway, this story is a YA historical fantasy following a pair of sisters who are also mediums, and they're being hunted in 1885. This story is absolutely so fantastic and it's so good. Like, I really enjoyed it, and this book is absolutely so underrated. First of all, the plot was so engaging and so intriguing. The world building was so atmospheric and it really hooked me from the beginning to the end. The characters were so well developed and so distinct. The sister relationship was so awesome and so well done. I truly understood like their bond from the beginning to the end, and I love this story so much, and it's so rich and so stunning, and it's so good. and I loved the setting and the ghosts and like everything about it. The mystery was so interesting and so captivating and just so riveting. This book is absolutely so amazing and it's so underrated. So anyway, with all that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Where the Lost Ones Go. This story is a middle-grade urban fantasy following a young Asian sapphic main character who attempts to contact her grandmother beyond the grave because she's grieving. This story is absolutely so fantastic and it's so good. We all know that Akemi Bowman is one of my favorite authors of all time, and the writing is so excellent and so iconic, and this book was no exception. Like, the writing is so lyrical and so beautiful. The world building was so atmospheric and so well developed. The characters are so well developed and so distinct, and I truly love them so much. Like, this book is so good. The family dynamics was so awesome and so well done. This book is so amazing and it deserves so much more hype because it's so excellent and so lyrical and so pretty. Like, everything about this book felt so awesome and so like bittersweet and good and stunning and just beautiful. Akemi is so talented, and I will gladly support them in literally every single element and in everything. This book is iconic, it's so good, and I love it. So anyway, with all that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called What Stays Buried. This story is a middle-grade urban fantasy following a young main character who can see ghosts because it's like a family trait. However, that trait goes away at a certain time, and she is unfortunately approaching that age. But anyway, she must use her ability to see ghosts because historically lately in her town, children have gone missing. This story is absolutely so excellent and it's so well done. First of all, I loved the family dynamics so much, and they made so much sense, and they felt so authentic and so well done. The plot is so intriguing and so engaging. The friendships were so lovely and so wonderful. The mystery was so captivating. This book is absolutely so excellent and it's so good, and it deserves so much more hype. Like, everything about this book felt so nuanced and so like important and well done and like so well paced. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but basically I really enjoyed this book, and it's so underrated and it deserves so much more hype. So anyway, with all that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The last book on this list is called The International House of Dereliction. I know I just talked about this book in a recent reads video a few weeks ago, so I apologize if my review is redundant. But anyway, this story is another middle-grade urban fantasy following a young main character who's trying to fix up an old house. However, she has to help the ghosts inside the house who have unfinished business. This story is absolutely so excellent and so well done. First of all, the writing was so excellent and just so good. I just love reading about like curious, smart characters because I see myself in them, my younger self, if that makes any sense. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. I love learning about each of the different ghosts. Even the house itself was its own character, which I found to be absolutely fascinating. The family dynamics made so much sense. I love her parents so much. The plot is so engaging. The mystery was so captivating and so well done. This book is absolutely so excellent, and like I've said before, it's very underrated and it deserves so much more hype. So anyway, with all that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. So in conclusion, this is another one of those recommended reads videos that I was very behind on, because if you didn't notice, all of the books on this list, with the exception of the last one, I read last year, and I try to film my recommended reads videos almost as soon as I finish all the books on the list. But since I read so many books, the lists of books tend to stack up over time, if that makes any sense, hence why I get overwhelmed with all of them. So anyway, if you enjoy this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the zebra emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!